What's up? You're here in a gangster's paradise. Today we will be figuring out how Machiavellian is Prop Joe. He is always scheming and playing people against each other. But Machiavellianism is deeper than that. It goes deeper than scheming, playing people against each other. Does the end justify the means notion? The direct guide how to rule for inspiring leaders and current leaders. And it teaches you to how to deal with certain types of people. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, Prop Joe may prefer hashing out differences through civil discourse, but when push comes to shove, he is not above lies, deceit, and violence. In Prop Joe's introduction saying, it tells us his whole character, explains his whole character to us. He's a coach who can't read a playbook, and Ep1 pointed that out. It makes sense. That line of makes sense as we go into his story, analyze his character from a Machiavellian standpoint. In the basketball scene, he shows situational awareness by wearing a suit in the heat to create an illusion of him being a coach.
Playboy, how come you wearing that suit, B? For real, it's 85 fucking degrees out here and you trying to be like Pat Riley.
Man, look the part, be the part, motherfucker.
Nigga, please, you walking around with a fake fucking clipboard. You can't even read a playbook. Be for real.
We also see Prop Joe is rather timid relative to his rivals in terms of direct confrontation, and Machiavelli made it clear it was better to be bold than cautious. This ability to outsmart and look and his lack of stomach for direct confrontation could be why he leaned into play the fox directly so heavily. According to Machiavelli, a good leader is a fox and a lion at the same time, with the fox being crafty and able to avoid traps, while the lion is strong enough to scare away the wolves. We first really see him lean is with Stringer Bell while Avon is locked up. He sells Stringer Bell on the Machiavelli principle that if too much force is needed to control an area, it becomes more of a burden than a benefit. But as much as he pushes the buy for $1 and sell for $2, he has let his true intentions out briefly in the beginning.
Y'all got the best territory and no kind of product. I got the best product, but could stand a little more territory.
If it was strictly a matter of buy for $1, buy for $1 and sell for $2, why would he need Avon quarters? He could have just sold from to Stringer for where he was, which would actually go better with his fly under the radar strategy. But the truth was he wanted to conquer. He just lacked the ferocity of the other lions. In this instance, he didn't need it. He was such a good fox that he acquired the corners without force, essentially getting Stringer to pay him to do so. Because you know he is not selling to Stringer at cost. And even had Stringer thinking that he did so at this point, not only do we know that he is an effective manipulator who lacks either the will and or the muscle for direct confrontation, but he wants to expand geographically as much as a traditional gangster like Avon or Marlon. Despite what he says, with that being in mind, his strategy of forming the co-op to expand his influence could have, and I emphasize, could have been a stroke of Machiavellian genius. According to Machiavelli, a kingdom where everything is based on the blessings of a prince, which would be the true setup of the co-op, since they all needed his blessing in the form of his connection, are harder to conquer but easier to hold. The reason being it's harder to actually get at the prince, but once you replace him, everyone needs you the way they needed him. Now, but Prop Joe, reason for forming the co-op, was very Machiavellian. As the prince stated, that war is not to be avoided, only to be postponed for benefit. Now, he was trying to avoid war, period. And unlike of this, Machiavelli would have easily predicted his downfall, saying that when princes think of ease more than arms, they lose their state. This emphasis on ease would taint the way he ran the co-op, and combined with the fact of situational awareness would end up bringing about his downfall via Marlo Stanfield. His initial attempt to get Marlo to join, despite declining Stringer's invitation, is understandable, since by the end Stringer was basically Prop Joe's son. I mean, he was his little son for real. Prop Joe's son, though. He had him turning his Elon. The real Prop Joe would have every reason to believe that he would be more successful.
The point of the co-op is we stand together. We share information, and no one fucks with any of us.
No one fucks with me now.
Into the key aspect, which is essential to the illusion he created with the co-op to actually work. Now it was clear in that moment he would never truly accept his end of that dynamic. Now we all know eventually he got Marlo to join the co-op, and they get credit where it's due. Him getting Prop Joe him getting Marlo Omar to rob Marlo and get Marlo to. We have to give him that his strategy to convince Marlo to join the co-op was very Machiavellian. He created an enemy for them with Omar, and then used those losses to bring Marlo closer, eventually getting him to join. The co-op that began being said he should have never persuaded Marlo due to the reason behind his resistance. According to the prince, someone who resists because they are courageous should be allowed to live. Because if you can get them on your side, you have gained a courageous ally. But if the reason for their resistance is ambition, then their emotions can never be trusted.
I treated you like a son.
I wasn't made to play the son.
Bodhi would be a good example of the first type. He wasn't particularly expansionist, and he was brave enough to stand up to a superior force, whereas Marlo was aggressively expansionist, which Prop Joe should have seen during the Barksdale-Stanfield War. And it is here his lack of situational awareness begins to come in play, putting him on the wrong side of possibly the most famous Machiavellian in TV history. And Prop leaned to the side of love, but it is better to be seen as cruel than someone who would let chaos occur. If you can't be respected, it is better to be feared than loved. Because you can't make someone love you, but you can make them fear you. And Prop learned that first part from Marlowe. But here is the thing. Prop Joe could never make no one fear him. Certainly not the likes of people like Marlowe.
My connect had people there when the shit went down. That's what you need to make you believe. You can hear it straight from him.
Introducing Marlowe to the Greeks was stupid to begin with. The court was never mafia like Joe described it as, and it was an illusion. And he would have gotten away with it if it weren't for Marlowe. Machiavelli expressed when princes of Italy have lost long-held states, it were either due to sloth or misfortune. Now, I know some of y'all might try to argue that his nephew selling him out was misfortune. But no, it was due to sloth because he knew his nephew was a problem for a long time now. From complaining about him to Sergey to the fight with Hungry Man. In season 5, Cheese needed to be taken care of, and Joe chose no action. And it led to his demise. That's it for Lessons in Machiavellianism, episode 1.